Hey guys, welcome. This is another episode of Cake and Flakes. I think that's what it's called. Honestly, um, we're just here. It's just another episode, I guess. It's been a while. Mostly because we've been busy. Also, some break. Also, school.
Yep.
Also, COVID, of course.
Yep.
But we're just here. Um, just another episode on Jake's channel. I'm here with Jake, of course.
Yep.
What's up?
Hello. I'm good. How are you?
Doing pretty fine. It's just kind of a okay summer.
Yeah. Obviously, I guess, uh, obviously we talked, I don't know when it was, like the last time we did the actual, like, podcast episode. I don't know when we did it. I think it was, like, maybe
It, it
January?
was earlier this year. I'm not sure when.
Um,
Um,
I don't know. I didn't put this in the list because I make a list on things we would talk about on the podcast, but I don't know if I talked about it on the second episode. Um,
what's up?
I want to talk about how my experience with COVID in March.
Of this year
Yep.
or last year? What do you mean?
So you know how I got, well, breaking news, I got COVID in March. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, that was not fun. It wasn't as bad as when I don't know if I had it in December of 2019, but it's basically the same. It's very alike to um the COVID now, but I don't know what variant I had. I don't know it. All I know is that I woke up on a Saturday in March, and I felt terrible. Um I my mom wasn't feeling that great either. My grandfather wasn't feeling well, so obviously I'm like, okay, something's wrong. Um and turns out my grandfather, who he had to get tested because he works. Um, he got tested and he tested positive, and that was kind of like, oh god, because now I'm like, okay, well, it's basically confirmed that I have it, but what symptoms am I going to have? Like, I don't know how bad it was gonna be, because the way I felt that day was like just tired and just like having like a headache, and besides that I was fine. But then obviously things got worse. I lost my taste and smell for 2 weeks. I like had like barely any appetite. I like barely walked. I just watched movies on the couch all day, and that was,
Gross.
yeah, that was my life for like 3 weeks. So yeah, then because of other things in my personal life that I do, I had to get tested as well. Me and my mom both got tested, and it came back positive. Um, and there were these people that would call my mom's phone, basically asking her how we were doing, and like how we were doing and if we were recovering or not. My mom's boyfriend, who also got it, uh, he actually got it a lot worse because it turned from COVID-19 into pneumonia. So that, yeah,
That's sucks to hear.
yeah. But thankfully, everyone's better now. I'm still kind of recovering because of the long-term effects. Um, then, like, for example, I still cannot taste things correctly and smell things correctly. Obviously, it's getting better, but very slowly. People can have this thing up to like a year, or up to like 6 months. Um, and it's it's obviously not fun to go through, and obviously everyone has it differently. Everyone, like has it, like people get it, people get different symptoms, people get different, reactions to it. But the when when I was feeling better, I think like a month after I had it, that was when I got my first vaccine shot, and yeah, that actually ended up kind of making the long term effects kind of worse. Because we obviously my mom and me wanted to get it as soon as possible because we didn't want to deal with this again. But basically, that it really just made some of the effects worse. First shot, I kind of just felt like I had allergies, and then the second shot at night, I had like an 103 fever. So that yeah, that was interesting. But
I hear a lot about like people like their second dose being like not as great as their first. It kind of happened to me too, let's be honest.
yeah, like
I
the
got my first dose earlier this year. I think in like it was like later than like it was like after you got COVID. I think it might have been May. I got
mhm.
my first dose, May or April, and second dose like the next month, of course. And first dose I felt pretty all right. It's just a normal shot. Second dose later in the day, I felt a little bit of body pain, but other than that, it was just whatever.
Yeah, like for example, like
That's how I felt.
yeah, the one thing that definitely happened was my arm hurt. It was killing me. Like lifting my arm like hurt. But it did that for like a few days and then it went away. Um, my like the but then the second shot, I kind of just it was just I had a lot of energy, but at the same time I had an 103 fever. So obviously it was because anyone else in like any other situation, that if they had a 103 fever, they'd be like lying on the couch like very tired, but I was like full of energy. So obviously
It's
I
good.
knew, yeah, so I knew that that was because of the dose, but obviously knowing like if it's like 105 you have to go to a hospital, that kind of scared me because I'm like, is it gonna go there, is it gonna, like, is it gonna get to that point? But thankfully it didn't. But then and then after like the next morning we all felt like fine. My arm surprisingly didn't hurt as much. But I'm just glad I have the vaccine now. A lot of things. Because for example, I went to North Carolina. I'm not gonna talk a lot about this, but when I went there, like well, first I went to Cracker Barrel for the first time in my life, and it was amazing. It was actually really good. Um, they actually sold vinyls there surprisingly, and I did not expect that. And I bought a Queen's Greatest Hit vinyl there. So that was cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. Uh, I I saw my cousin who for the first time since February because he became a Marine recently, which was awesome. Um, and
Right.
it's yeah. So uh, I was very happy to see him. Um, and it's like when you go inside, um, obviously like when you go inside buildings, obviously if you're fully vaccinated, then you're not really required to wear a mask. Um, and then again, this is North Carolina laws. This isn't New York laws, but whatever. Um, oh, one more thing we forgot to do actually. Um, we forgot to mention. We want to give our condolences to the family of DMX, who sadly passed away, I believe, of a heart attack like a month or two ago. Yeah, man, that I was not expecting that at all. What are your
DMX, man. Like, I'm gonna be honest. I've never. Well, I've heard a lot of his songs actually. I knew a lot about his songs before his death.
Hmm.
I never really got a chance to listen to the discography, but just the songs that he have made and like the impact that he had, because they're like they've kind of transcended the genre that they're part of, like, and are pretty much just like pop culture at this point. Like everyone knows uh the fucking where the hood, where the hood at,
Yeah.
or X gon' give it to you. Like they're iconic. Like everyone
Yeah.
knows them.
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy that he's he's gone. You know?
Yeah, like I'm not gonna lie, those were the only two songs I listened to of his. You know, like
Y'all gonna make me lose my mind. Like come on, man. They're
yeah,
so well
that one.
known. It's
Yeah, like
crazy
yeah, and it's
how how he had such a great energy in all of his songs
yeah,
that I think anyone could get into.
yeah, and
Why they're so popular.
yeah, you know, it is when X Gonna Give It to You especially became a lot more popular recently because it was included in a game, Resident Evil 2, I
Mhm.
believe, like a few years ago, and yeah, I looked on Twitter, like every I guess teenager and adult in these days does. And
Yeah.
I saw it said rapper DMX has died of a heart attack at like age 50 or something, and I just was shocked. I was like, wait, what? Like like it was unexpected. Like I didn't, no one expected that. But like but it's again, it's really sad that he's gone, and again, we send our condolences to his friends and family, because especially he was such a talented musician, and obviously I haven't met I've never met him, but I assume he was like a really nice person. We send our condolences to DMX's family and friends. I assume he was an amazing person, and he was a very talented rapper and musician. So
Visionary.
yeah, legendary, iconic. Um, and
R.I.P.
so that was very shocking. You know, but I guess we'll talk about Tyler's new album now.
Speaking of music, yeah, definitely.
Yep.
I
What'd you think?
really liked the new album. Call Me
Yeah.
by Your Name. Oh no, yep.
Call me when
Call
you
me
get
if you get
lost.
lost.
Call me if you get lost.
Sorry
Yep.
about that.
That's
I
okay.
got so involved in the LGBT that I kind of forgot for a second. Call me if you get lost.
Yeah. So obviously I actually waited until like 12 a.m. and I bought it on iTunes. And obviously I think Lemonhead or Was Your Name was my favorite.
Oh,
The
we're already getting into the tracks, huh?
I mean, I'm just saying, like, one of them, forget, I think it Was Your Name, but it kind of reminded me a little bit of New Magic Wand from Igor. Obviously, Igor we talked about on the first
I can kind of
episode.
see that.
You had,
Yeah, we did.
you heard,
That
like,
was like, was that really 2 years ago? Pretty
that
much.
was, like, I think, like, because we talked about Endgame the, and Igor.
Yeah, that must have been like 2 years ago. Man,
Yep, time
crazy.
flies. Um, and, obviously, you know, it was obviously the first Tyler album I fully listened to was Igor, and I was really impressed. So I was really excited to listen to call me if you get
Call
was
me if you get
call me if you
lost.
get lost. Yeah,
Yeah.
I forget if it's call me when you get lost or call me if you get lost.
Call me if you get lost. Yeah.
So obviously the album cover is, I believe, a driver's license or a
It looks kind of like driver's license slash like a I don't know, like a passport kind of thing.
yeah.
I hear a lot of people comparing it to the cover to Old Dirty Bastard's debut. You know Old Dirty Bastard?
Yep.
He's one of the many Wu-Tang members. And I kind of see the comparison. I don't really feel it, to be honest.
And
Like I could send you the picture or you can look it up. The album is called I think it's like Return of the 36 Chambers or like Revenge of the 36 Chambers.
Yep.
But you can look it up and see for yourself.
Yeah, so yeah, I'll definitely check that out. And obviously uh obviously the cover is an identification card for a character named Tyler Baudelaire.
Mhm.
And he obviously, has his signature and everything. Um and I was again really really impressed with all of the songs on here. Obviously, okay. Well, I guess we'll go over the
Sure.
first track now, right? Uh,
I got a few things to say still.
all
Like
right.
I
So
really liked it too. Just talking about it generally. Um, like ever since like it's been like what? It's been like a like 4 year streak at this point with Flower Boy, Igor, now this project. I mean he had good stuff like before with Flower Boy. Like I like Wolf a lot. And Bastard was pretty good too, but like recently it's like god damn. He's on like another level right now, and I'm really happy that this album turned out the way it did. I uh, I think like hmm?
oh no, I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. As I was saying, like I kind of made like a mini pros and cons list like while I was listening to it. Like I really liked like like pretty like throughout if like the transitions were very seamless. Have you noticed that?
Yeah. So
Like they're like there's like a bunch of tracks that are like 2 minutes long and they just jump from one to the other like it's nothing and it's like
hmm
really good
yeah,
flow throughout.
yeah, like kind of like kind of like the like obviously when you say like transitions, like obviously that kind of I immediately think of ex-military from the way that they went from Beware to Guillotine. Um, so
Uh
obviously, you know,
yeah, I mean like uh I can kind of see that comparison because like that album is like a mixtape, right? And
yeah,
like throughout this album, I got like kind of like a mixtape kind of energy, like kind of vibe to it. Just like the way that like all the tracks went into the other and all like the DJ drama, like vocal snippets and all like the group vocals throughout and like just how in comparison to like his other projects it's like so much more like there's like way more rapping compared to
yeah,
Igor.
yeah,
Like
like
there's like way more rapping and just a lot of the production is like a lot more like hip hop centric than like
yeah,
Igor.
yeah, like obviously, you know, um, with Igor, obviously it was like obviously like when you went into it, it was like obviously when you hear Igor's theme for the first time and like you hear it and then then you hear it start, you're like, oh, here we go, and it's like, but yeah, definitely I agree with you. Compared to Igor, this album has a lot more like rapping um
hmm
than Igor. So
But it's like it's also like so different from like his other albums that are like mostly rapping.
hmm
Like it like this compared to Flower Boy is like very different,
yeah, I like,
you
for
know?
example, I listen to like Forward from Flower Boy like daily, and I even
Yeah, it's
even like
so
even like comparing that to um you know basically all of this album, it's pretty different. Like just that one song
yep.
from Flower Boy, it's crazy.
Flower Boy is a lot more like sadder,
Yeah.
like a lot more very sad sounding compared to
hmm
this.
yeah, so obviously one of the I know we're gonna go through it in order, but one thing I just need to um one thing I just gotta say, obviously a very, I guess you could say, I mean, I don't know if I from my standpoint I should say it's funny, but at the beginning of the song it's like, hey, he's like mocking people who are to tell him to say something about Black Lives Matter. He goes, like he was like
That
shut
was
up or
that was
something,
really
and
great. That was really really great.
yeah, like
I
I
like that a lot.
again, I don't know if I should laugh at that. Obviously listening to it for
No,
the first
I think
time, I laughed a little because I didn't expect it. But you know,
no, it's because like I liked it too. Because it's just the thing about Tyler's sense of humor. He's very he targets a lot of people. Um, specifically like in the that song, like in that intro, he's targeting like um I don't know, I guess like Twitter users that like expect him to say more on a topic, even though he's like not some kind of like moral like authority like figure. Like he's not some kind of like some kind of god type of thing. You know, he doesn't have
yeah.
that kind of clout.
Yeah, so you know, obviously I'm looking it up on Genius on my phone as we talk about it. And one of the questions is what is the character for this album? And it says although Tyler often likes to create characters and stories around his album, with this album he instead enforces that everything is completely personal and grounded in his actual life. For example, someone replied to him saying favorite lyrics on the album, and he said, every line, I didn't exaggerate anything. Everything on here is real and really my life. Honestly, my most personal album, so it's ill that people are into it. So, you know, obviously with, you know, Igor, the character was Igor. Like, it was, you know, obviously the person on, the, you know, like the cover was, you know, that's basically, you
That
know,
was his character. That was
yeah.
like who he was pretending to be throughout.
Yeah,
And
so
now on this project, he's Tyler Baudelaire.
Yeah, so, you know, obviously, basically, this tweet confirms that, you know, Flower Boy is not his most personal album. It's actually, you know, this one.
I can kind of see that because like I mean I'm gonna use this to like we should talk should we talk about like what it's like this album's actually about, or like did you like pick up on that so far or no?
Um,
Because I think I got like a kind of an idea of what this album's about.
alright, go ahead.
Um, my interpretation is like there's not like a story on it like Igor is, because like you know you can tell in Igor there's kind of like a narrative going on with like Tyler and like the love triangle that he's in with like the boy and the girl. But on this, I didn't really get much of like a story or anything. Instead, it's like I got a lot of like similar kind of like messages and like themes about like Tyler's fame, about like his past and his music. And I kind of like in that way I kind of get like what Genius is saying about it being, or like what Tyler is saying about it being like his most personal, because I it does he does talk a lot about like his fame on this album, and that's
Mm-hmm.
something I picked up on.
Yeah, so, like, for example, in Sir Baudelaire, um, the, obviously this was teased by the little voicemail thing that he did on Twitter. He basically tweeted, you know, call me, and you put down a number, and if you called it, you would hear like songs from the album, and on the fourth voicemail, you could hear him rapping the song's whole verse without like instruments, like you know, like without like an instrumental backing, which I thought was really cool. So I was like, okay, this is like what we're gonna hear in the album, like you know, except with I assume with you know actual like instrumentals behind, you know, backing his vocals up.
Yeah,
And
the like the promotion, like the rollout was really good for this album.
yeah, it kind of reminded me of like
I liked all the music. I liked all the little like music videos and like you know like oh call this phone number type of thing. That was really cool. I
yeah.
really liked all of that.
Yeah, so obviously, you know, you know, it's like amazing what he did. Obviously, it reminded me of like what Ninja did when he like put his think you could text him or something, and you know, obviously this one you could actually call, and if you called, you'd actually, you know, hear like you know,
Snippets of the music.
yeah, like, and it was
Yeah.
awesome. Um, so you know, what did you think about, you know, Sir? Baudelaire.
About like the track or like the persona he's like doing throughout?
In both, like what do you think about like the track itself? What would you give it? Like,
I'm not really sure about scores yet, but I can give my opinions. Um, so I liked Sir Baudelaire. I think it was a really good opener. I think it does a good job at like introducing like um DJ Drama, who's like all over this project. Like he's on this project. He's featured on this project, but he's like on almost every single track. I
mm,
thought he was a cool addition throughout. Um, and it also introduces like the his like I said the Sir Baudelaire persona, like how on Igor he was playing Igor, the like his version of Igor.
which also became like a bunch of memes and stuff. But
Yeah.
obviously, if you actually watched the skit Brown Sugar Salmon, the servers actually referred to him as Sir Baudelaire, which was
Hmm.
so that was like 2 days before
Nice
the
piece of
album's release. So
like a nice piece of like lore kind of.
yeah, kind of, yeah. So
Because
that
like my interpret like can I say like my interpretation of
yeah, sure,
like like the Sir Baudelaire kind of character,
yeah, sure,
like throughout like since this album is like the most like the thing that he's talking about the most on this album is like his fame, his success, like what he's doing right now. Like so I kind of like interpret it as like the Tyler Baudelaire thing as like how he like views himself. Like he views himself as like this super successful, like rich kind of character who's like doing all these things. You know, he's in like the mountains in Switzerland, or he's like in these like private like trains, like getting like eating like expensive food or something. That's kind of the vibe I got
yeah.
throughout. But this is how like he viewed himself.
Yeah, like obviously, um, one of the lyrics is new Lafleur season, summertime look like private school. Obviously, this is a reference to, Golf Lafleur, which is, it's
His
Tyler's.
his fashion thing.
Yeah, so obviously listening to the lyrics, obviously, again, I don't think I can sing any of these out loud because I'd get in a lot of trouble for that. You know, because, you know,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
that that I have to say about this track?
I really liked it. It was a cool, it was an amazing, like, really kind of like, I guess you could say, kind of hyped up intro about, to the album.
Hmm.
And, I was obviously hyped listening to it. Um, and I really liked the song. I really liked. And yeah, so I guess we'll go into Corso now, which is the second song on the album. Um,
I love that song. It's a
yeah,
great song.
so
It's a personal favorite for me.
yeah, I really like that one too. It's the people think that the title could also mean that um it's that Tyler dropping an album is a festivity in itself, since it's like the first major song on Call Me If You Get Lost. So that there's a little fact for you. But
Yeah, no.
I I really like this one too. I really did. I'm not gonna lie. After a few songs, I was kind of sick of of DJ Drama speaking at the beginning of every
Really?
song. I know that
Really?
like it's the fact that it was me really wanting to hear Tyler rapping, and I was like let's get to the Tyler part. I wanted to listen to like his rapping, but but then I kind of was like, okay, now this, like, I was like, he's hyping it up a little too much. like he's, but I again,
I think it kind of works.
yeah,
Cause
yeah,
like like it's kind of like I said before about like the whole Baudelaire thing and how he sees himself as like this very successful kind of like rich character. Like I think it kind of fits. to have DJ Drama constantly hyping him up throughout, like he's like this insane talent, which I mean he is, but like
Mhm.
I think it fits.
Yeah. And I was again, like I really again I really like this track. The
What
you
did you
know
like about it? Like, did you like the instrumental or like the rapping or?
I like the rapping and how it how it went with the instrumental.
Mhm.
That
There's a lot of beat switches I noticed.
yeah.
That was really good.
Yeah, so one of the things, um, he brings up a pandemic, obviously COVID, in Lemonhead. I know we're moving on to Lemonhead already. Sorry for the quick transition.
I don't mind. We can talk about Lemonhead now.
This was my personal favorite throughout for the entire album. I love
Awesome.
this one the most. Um, it really gave me. I believe this is the song I'm thinking about. Apparently, I don't know. Again, this is genius. So I just saw this. Apparently, it said that he sampled a Captain Sparkle song, which I don't. Again, I don't know if that's like true or not.
Smart.
Like
What?
try like like the old Minecraft songs and crap. Like
No,
Captain.
I know what you mean. I think I've seen that someone say that before, but I didn't look into it.
Yeah,
Is that true?
I know. I don't. Again, I don't know,
That's
but
funny.
you know, but the one of the things I definitely did notice throughout the lyrics was how it was again relating to things going on in the world right now. With Black Lives Matter, the pandemic. Like that kind of like that kind of that definitely caught my attention. And that I like I that's one of the things I like is when when rappers like when they talk about things going on currently in the world, and they end up rapping about it in their songs. For example, you know Tyler talking about the entire pandemic, the little thing
He
he
talks
did.
about Black Lives Matter later on in the track and all that.
Yep.
I remember.
I think he was about to tell someone to suck his dick in the beginning of that track.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, so obviously, did, but yeah, again, I really do like when rappers, talk about, issues going on, outside of, you know, like in the real world. Um, and
Totally.
yeah, so that's one of the reasons why, he talks about how I think how like the pandemic is like driving him crazy or something, or that's like it's like because he's like locked in his house basically, and that's definitely
Yeah.
like how I felt at the beginning of this pandemic and basically throughout all of it really. So that's another reason why it's one of my favorites, or why it is my favorite on the entire track. He said one of the lyrics that also caught my attention was I was too hot. TLC waterfalls on my chest help me cool out. So, that was cool. Um, but
TLC, damn.
yeah. Um, so it was again that one of my this is my favorite on the album. Um, then we got what's the next one? What's your name?
Ooh, what's your name? What's your name?
Yep.
Oh, you look my nervous. That's a great song. I
Yeah.
love What's Your Name.
Yeah, that one is again also another favorite. Um,
I, it was more like of his like singing type and like a like soul R&B type of vibe compared to like his rapping, which I liked. I liked the sample. Have you like checked out like what the sample is? It's pretty good.
it's Backseat, um, by H Town.
Yeah.
I again I actually for example like after Igor came out, and I think became my favorite, like one of my favorite songs of all time, actually. Um, and
Cool.
one of the things that yeah, and one of the things that I loved about it was how the like with the the instrumental in the background. And I was like, I would love having that on like a 1 hour loop. I would probably listen to that like
Oh yeah. They have
so.
there's a lot of good
Yeah,
instrumentals.
so obviously that was a sample from, I forget what the heck the song was called now, but the obviously I listened to the original, um, and yeah, again, I don't know if it was your name or Lemonhead that kind of had you hear like the laughing for that was heard that you would hear in New Magic Wand. Um, you hear the ah ha 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 ha, and
Oh,
immediately.
I didn't. I should re-listen to those songs.
Yeah,
'Cause I didn't notice
yeah,
that.
because that was one of the things that also caught my attention. I was like, oh wow, it's like was
Callback.
this, yeah, sampling a song from Igor. Like, I was
Mhm.
like, wow. Um, but it was, it was your name also, it's says here, What's Your Name portrays Tyler, the creator, falling madly in love with the woman he just met shortly before finding out that she's taken. Yeah, I can relate to that. I definitely relate to that. So
Good love song.
yeah,
Kind of love song.
yeah.
Breakup.
So uh,
What'd you think of the features?
the features,
High
that
Dollar Sign and NBA Youngboy or Youngboy NBA, I forget.
yeah. Again, also, he features also in the album Lil Wayne, Pharrell Williams, Lil Uzi Vert.
Yeah.
Um, you
A
know,
lot of features.
yeah. I
They're all
believe.
pretty good too.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And I guess we'll go over Lumberjack now. Uh,
That was like the first single he dropped, remember?
yep. That was the first single that he dropped.
It's
And
not a bad single. I like that song.
yeah. So this is It says that on Lumberjack, the lead single from Call Me If You Get Lost, Tyler boasts his material wealth and addresses his haters over an abrasive beat that contrasts much of his more melodic
Melodic,
production.
yeah.
The song's instrumental heavily samples the August 1994 Gravediggers cut, Two Cups of Blood. Um, this was his first officially released single since February 2021's Tell Me How, which was written for a Coca-Cola advertisement. Um, t- uh, and before that, other than a couple features, I think he remained like, I guess you could say, dormant since dropping Igor, Group B, or
Hmm.
and Best Interest, which was, I think that came out in December of 2019. And that was interesting.
So
So
what'd you think of Lumberjack? What'd
Lumberjack,
you like
I
about it?
actually um again, I have to listen to this again. After I went on vacation, like I forgot like some of the song. Like I forget
Really?
I not like I didn't forget the songs, but I forget like there was a
The
part.
names.
I forget the names, like which song had like which thing. Like there was one
This
where
song is like
is this the one that went brown dun, dun, brown, or was that like
that was
was your name, or I
I
forget.
think that was Lemonhead. That was Lemonhead, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
with like the horns in the background.
yeah, that like
That
yeah,
was Lemonhead.
yeah, again, that's the reason why that's another reason why it's my favorite, because I love the like the instrumentals. So obviously
You would like Odd Future a lot. You know, like his old rap group.
Yeah,
If you liked Lemonhead, because it reminded me of that song. That song, that group, his old
yeah,
rap group.
yeah. Obviously, one of the things that I actually, I watched, um, I watched Ridiculousness recently, and there's an episode where he comes on as Mr. Rochelle, and I think he would be like my favorite substitute teacher of all time if he was real. Like I would like. He's like, "Can I give you a nickname, idiot?"
Yeah, you showed me that clip
I
earlier.
was like cracking up. I was like I love, I love his character, Mr. Rochelle.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's you know, um,
You don't have that much to say about
yeah,
Lumberjack?
yeah, like
I can talk about it. It's fine.
all right.
It was like I liked it a lot. From what the last time I heard it was probably probably like a day ago.
Mhm.
But I remember it was about him flexing a lot about his fame, his wealth. Like it was like tying back to the persona he was giving off.
Mhm.
I remember the instrumental the most. I remember really loved the way it sounded. It had like a very dark, gritty kind of beat to it um that was like it was like the first song that was released as a single. So when I heard that dark, gritty beat, I was like, oh, this is gonna be very different from his other project,
Mhm.
and it was. But yeah, I liked the song actually a lot. It was the one. It was also the one with like it had more DJ drama, like like hyping up, like
Mhm.
shouts in the background. There's like group vocals too. I heard like I saw it said like featuring one of his Odd Future buddies, Jasper, which was cool.
Yeah. Um.
Overall, it's just it's a really exciting banger. Mostly because of the DJ drama hyping up.
Yep.
It's a really exciting track for
Yep.
me.
I think like listening to it the first time through because I wanted to hear Tyler so much. I'm like, I hear him start going, start hyping it up, and I'm like, oh, here we go again. It's like I was like obviously, if I would like listen back to it now, I probably wouldn't care. But then I was like, oh my god, new Tyler album. Like I want to hear Tyler rap. I want to hear him rap. Like I want to hear it. Like I want to hear the new songs.
He raps. He does rap though.
No, no,
He
I
raps
know, but like
way more
obviously,
than an Igor.
obviously, like in the first song, I didn't, care. Obviously, you know, yeah, and obviously, like I still enjoy, like, because obviously, the first Tyler album I listened to was Igor, so. I obviously he wasn't rapping a lot in that, so that was just the Tyler I kind of, knew. Like if I just listened to Igor and then just like and then like the next like Tyler album I listened to was this one, then I probably wouldn't like it more. But thankfully you told me, oh yeah, you have to listen to Flower Boy. So I listened to that and I loved it, and now I'm like damn, this guy's good. Like like
Tyler
um
is really good at rapping. He's
yeah,
really good at
yeah,
rapping.
and one person that I actually would love to see him you like rap with is IDK. Um he believe it or not, the first IDK song I actually heard was from an MLB game that I got in March. It was called 4200 Choices, and I listened to it and I was like, oh my god, this song's amazing. And but um I sent you a video of a live performance of that song. I don't know if you watched
Mhm.
it or not.
I did.
Yeah, so you know,
He sounded pretty good. Yeah,
yeah, so
I liked it.
yeah,
But
so
I think that's it for Lumberjack. We can go to the next song.
all right. Next one was Hot Wind Blows. I
I
believe
think
it actually the sample on it was actually it was that was like it was a reference to the song that was sampled. It was Penny Goodwin's "Slow Hot Wind" from 1974, I believe. So,
Mm-hmm.
or no, from the 1974 album "Portrait of a Gemini." Um, so
Do
obviously, yeah.
you remember how this one sounds, or do you want me to like talk about it?
Can you talk about it? I know, like, I basically, you know, like, I kind of forgot, like, if you talk about it, then I'll probably, I'll probably remember. But obviously, the
Yeah, it
last
was the
time,
one with the Lil Wayne feature. Yeah, it was the one with Lil Wayne feature.
yeah, he didn't
It had like
appear on Oh, sorry, you can go ahead.
yeah, I was saying it was the one with like the Lil Wayne feature. The instrumental was like a really like laid back kind of like had like a flute going on with like and a piano.
Yes, from
Um,
1974.
it
What do you expect?
it had yeah it sounded like very relaxed, like very distant.
That's
It
why.
had like Tyler talking about like he pretty much went like full like Baudelaire persona. Like he was talking about being in Switzerland, like
Yeah,
and
traveling
having a
and
great time there, like making up this like imaginary world for him,
yeah,
like flexing and all that.
and then Little Wayne kind of comes in like, "Excuse me, pardon me."
He
Yeah,
did a really good job on that track.
yeah, amazing. And I kind of realized why I get confused with why it's called. If I get confused on why it's called "Call Me When You Get Lost" or "Call Me If You Get Lost," it's because in the beginning, DJ Drama says "Call me when you get lost." So
hmm
that's I think that's why that that kind of confused me. But obviously now I definitely remember this song. This song, very laid back, as you said. This was, I believe, the last time Lil Wayne appeared on a Tyler album was Flower Boy, Dropping Seeds. That was the last
he
feature
had a
he did.
great feature there too.
Yep, and he also appeared on Smuckers in Cherry Bomb. Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
see, I did my
He
research.
did a good job there.
I
Um,
did my
it's not.
research.
Yeah, he and Tyler have like they go way back.
Hmm.
So hearing another Wayne feature, um, and honestly, I think this feature was like like a really stood out among the rest. Like along with well, like to spoil my opinion, like Little Uzi Vert and Pharrell, like those three guys were like probably my favorite features on the project. And I'll get into that later.
Hmm. So I guess do you want to talk about Massa now?
Oh yeah, sure. I
All
have a
right.
lot more to say
So
about Massa than how Wind was.
yeah. So obviously, on Massa, he basically kind of calls back to the era of slavery in the United States. Um,
Yeah,
which
That's what the title's all about. Yeah.
yeah. So he uses this to exemplify the dramatic contrast between the limitations given to African Americans back then and compared to now, where black men such as Tyler himself kind of forged great amounts of success for themselves. um, and it's again it's
And then on the track, he's mostly rapping about he starts off talking about like his youth and growing up
mhm.
and how he grew as an artist over time. Um, and he even mentions Cherry Bomb at one point. He mentioned how when Cherry Bomb was released, not too many of his fans were really like fucking with it. Like it sounded like different and all
And then
that. So that and
immediately
having to get over
after,
that.
yeah, and then immediately and then the lyric in this that caught my eye was thoughts change so rapid, turn into a butterfly, flower boy happened, all the bees buzz, be they buzz, scream they love me. So it kind of talks about how, obviously there weren't a lot of people, I guess, you know, how it compares like how he was when Cherry Bomb came out and after, Flower Boy came out. A lot of people really started to like him.
Yeah, they started to, like hype him up. They
Yeah,
were like, "Oh, he's not just like some he's not like just a he's not like some like goofy offensive dude. He has like a lot to say. He's like really
yeah,
cool."
and it
You know?
said he also said mom was in the shelter when Yonkers dropped. Um,
Oh yeah,
I love
I
this
liked
because
how he mentioned his past and how he made all these references to his older stuff.
oh,
That
and
was really cool.
another thing that I just realized was that he says he a thing that he may be pointing at is a boy is a gun because he says I'm paranoid I sleep with a gun. So and a lyric in a boy is a gun
I
is
didn't. Yeah, I didn't put two and two together. So that's pretty cool.
yeah. So in the it is I love again I really love when they kind of you know when they say like when they bring out like when they talk about their past and they make references to like their old songs. Like if he made a reference to I Think in the song, I probably would have given it like a 5. like I really like how yeah, I really like when rappers do this, and I hope that Death Grips releases another album soon because I'm starting to get annoyed at this point. I
Uh,
oh my god,
I wonder. I really wonder.
because
I don't
obviously
know.
like
I don't know.
the last time we heard a Death Grips, the last time Death Grips released anything was in 2019 for the 50th
Yeah, anything
anniversary, I think, or 25th.
anything like new, pretty much.
Yeah, so
Because like even then, Gmail and the restraining orders was like recorded like in like what 2015, I think.
yeah, so
Like the last
obviously,
time there was like something new,
yeah,
like
and
it was like
it's really
even
also
before
like
that. You're,
it was really something that they would play at their live shows before the show started.
yeah, yeah.
So obviously, it's cool hearing that, but again, it's it would be a lot. Obviously, I hope, and you can bet that when a new Death Grips album comes out or a single, then we're definitely gonna cover it, like for sure.
hmm
But anyways, you
I
know,
still have some like final thoughts about Massa.
yeah, okay, go on.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed this too, but like when the song started off, it was like very relaxed, like it was like sleepy almost, like his flow was like relaxed as well. And then as it went on, it got like he started adding more instruments like piano and like synths, and like his flow started getting like a lot more like desperate and sad. Like, have you noticed that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely noticed that. And there's
Pretty
actually a
cool.
lyric again where he talks about, it's, for example, here, again, I'm on Genius, so, it says, one of the lyrics is tug of war with X and Y feel like a custody battle.
Yeah, I
Um,
noticed that too.
and he
That was
says, it's referring to the sex chromosomes X and Y, obviously.
yeah. I figured out what it meant. That
So,
it was like referring to like uh his sexuality and like
yeah,
people's perception of his sexuality. I thought that was
and
I thought
obviously
that was a cool line, lyrical
yeah, and he
line.
obviously he makes a reference to this in this in Garden Shed and Flower Boy. He
Mhm.
obviously that's where he. I mean I won't say obviously I don't know I won't say that's when he started to hint at it, but like that's like the best example. So I
The most
guess
like
yeah, like it's
yeah,
most
it's
like
like
known.
most noticeable, I guess. Like when that's the one everyone goes back to. Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously next song I guess we'll go into.
One last thing.
Okay, okay.
The last song, the not the last song, the last line. Uh, It was really good. It was I paint full pictures of my perspective on these drum breaks just for you to tell me it's not good from your lunch break. That's
Yeah,
really funny. I don't know,
yeah,
but he's pretty much calling out like I guess critics
yeah.
who they could just like listen to anything they want and just be like,
Yeah,
like
so
I don't get it. Like even though he put like so much time and effort into
yeah,
everything he
like
does.
even yeah, I mean, obviously, I haven't. I mean, I don't know. I mean, knowing Anthony Fantano, he probably already did a thing about "Call Me If You Get Lost." I have yet to
Oh, he
watch it.
did. He liked it though.
Yeah,
He liked it.
I have yet to watch it. Again, you know, but I'll probably watch it after the podcast. But
Next song.
yep, next
What's
song we got "Run It Up." Um,
Where you gonna run it up? I
again,
think that's how it goes, right?
yeah, and
Where
obviously
you going?
again, we hear DJ Drama. Not surprised.
More, yeah.
um,
I didn't mind. It
yeah,
was lit, yeah.
um,
Uh, you got anything to say about it, or?
I may have like, I obviously, I don't know. Yeah, you can go.
I like the song. Not as much as like the songs that came before it, but it had a cool sound to it. Like it got me moving in the moment. It got me dancing. Got me moving. Where you gonna
Got you
run it up?
schmoovin'?
Where you gonna run? Yeah, it's a pretty good chorus. I think that's probably my favorite part to be honest.
Yeah.
But no, I liked the song. I liked. Yeah, you know what it reminded me of?
What did it remind you of?
It reminded me of the Mr. Lonely section
Yeah.
of Flower Boy, because
Yeah.
like it had like a similar sound. It had like similar like hype sound with like a bunch of group vocals, but
Yeah.
it was like very sad. It was like a very very sad song. Like
Mhm.
with Mr. Lonely, he was talking more about like um I kind of forget actually, but no, it was like a very lonely, depressing song
Yeah.
about like himself and like his fame or whatever.
Uh-huh.
So that was cool. Nice callback.
Yeah, so obviously I don't have much to say about Run It Up.
That's fine.
Reminds me of
Yeah, I
DJ, we
like it
gonna
though.
burn it up.
It's not a fake. Yeah.
Like, that obviously seeing that, that kind of reminded me of that. But there was one of the things that we're not up to this yet, but I guess we might as well go over it quickly. It's not that long of a song. Mama
What
Talk.
is? Oh, are we already on that song or
Oh
no?
no, no, we're not. I just want to talk about it. I think hearing that, hearing his mom kind of, you know,
It was a good song. I mean, it's not like something I'm gonna come back to, but like it was a good transition from one song to the other. I liked hearing Tyler's mom a lot.
yeah, like the fact that,
Hearing
yeah,
like
like she's like,
how much she loved her son.
yeah, that was really nice. I kind of laughed obviously because I wasn't expecting to, hear his mom, but I guess I should have
She was
expected.
talking about
If you
this,
if you fuck with my kids, I'll
she was like
beat up
willing
kids
to
over
beat
my
up like
kid.
little kids and
Yeah,
stuff over her son. It was really
that
funny.
was really funny to me. I really
Yeah,
like that.
it's nice and it's really it's really
She's
sweet too that she
she,
cares that much.
she said I would beat your whole family and not give a fuck.
Yeah, yeah, that's really,
like,
I liked
like,
it a lot.
like that's really nice. Like, obviously not a lot of moms will say
A
that
nice shout
like
out. Shout
that.
out to mom.
Yeah, shout out to you know, the creator of Tyler the Creator. I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Duh. So obviously, hearing that, I kind of, I was like, wow, she's really nice. It's like she seems really nice. So obviously don't fuck with Tyler, or else his mom is gonna kill you.
Yeah.
But again, that was just a quick one. I just thought we'd go over it. Why not?
Yeah, cool. So we're on Manifesto now.
Yep, manifest. Oh yeah, here we go. This is the one. This is the one. So he
Yes,
says
that was it was one
I
with
can actually
the.
speak about this. So because thankfully there's no.
What do you mean?
He said I can say the intro. He says, "Little white bitch gonna say you need to say something about that. You need to say something about black bitch suck my." And then, so
That was a
obviously
really.
this
It's a
was,
really funny moment.
yeah, obviously
So.
he alludes to the Black Lives Matter movement, which gained
Mhm.
a lot of traction, especially following the thing with George Floyd. And also good news, the arresting officer who killed him got a long time in prison, so that's good.
Yeah.
I was very happy when I heard about that.
Finally, yeah.
Yeah, after a fucking
Long
year.
enough.
It's like after a year,
Hey,
like
1 year later. Woo.
yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, so obviously, it's like I won't say anything about, I won't name names or anything, but obviously people are like Obviously there are some people that are like, all lives matter, and I mean, like, from a white person perspective, you shouldn't really be saying that, especially now. Like, obviously, like, like,
Yeah,
I
because
can get
when
it.
I hear that kind of when I hear sentences like "all lives matter," "blue lives matter," whatever, it's not like
Like,
I
it's the fact
disagree.
that they're
Well,
doing it to, like, compete with Black Lives Matter. That's what I hate about it. But
oh
obviously,
yeah, not
like,
exactly.
yes, all lives matter. Like, that's correct. But, like,
Like if,
doing it in the way of, like, competing against the Black Lives Matter
mhm,
movement, I just
that's
don't like that.
exactly what I was going to say. It's not like okay, well, I can't say that it's not like I disagree with the message because it's, I kind of do in that um I don't like that the only reason why they're doing the message is because like you said they're trying to compete against the Black Lives Matter movement as if it's some sort of like competition, which is just really not a great way to go
Yeah,
at
like,
things, you know.
yeah, like, no means to fire at my mom, but obviously, my mom, like, obviously she first said, she's one of the all lives matter people, but, at first I was like, you really shouldn't say that, like, like, right now, because, of everything going on, and obviously, but, like, I talked with her, and I can, assure everyone that, she's not saying it to compete, she's just saying, like, all lives matter, like, and, like, obviously,
The
like,
sentiment is like I get what they're trying to do. I get what they're trying to go with this like very peaceful like utopian like we should all respect each other as like equal, but like when your slogan is all lives matter, like the only thing I'm going to think about is you named it this because you're trying to go you're like as if you're competing against or going against like being anti Black Lives Matter,
like,
you know?
yeah, like, that's what I thought like, that was, like, immediately, like, my anxiety, like, shot up, because I was like, oh my god, please don't tell me my mom is, like, competing
And like
against,
the
but
same thing
thankfully she's
with
not,
like
she's not.
blue lives matter to an extent because it's not like okay, it's not like not every police officer is a bad person, but being a police in America is like fueling the problem behind police brutality, you know?
Yeah, yeah, like, obviously,
That's like yeah, it's difficult, you know?
yeah,
Like it's not like I disagree, but it's not like a good way to say it.
yeah, like,
Like
obviously, like, I'm not trying to, cause any controversy, but, you don't see things trending, like, when brutality happens, it's not against a white person, it's like, you never, like, that never happens, it's always against a, person of color, and that really disappoints me, and it
black
gives,
people, yeah,
and it
with
gives,
Latin American people.
and it gives, like, like, obviously I can, like, the thing is that I can go outside and, see cops, and, like, I'll know, like, it gives me that sense of protection, but, knowing that people of color will go outside and they'd see cops and be afraid because of everything that's happened, it's, like, really disappointing. Because honestly, some cops are, like, actual good people. Like, it's just the fact of what's other cops, like, racist ones have been doing, it's given everyone this like, basically, like, this thing saying, oh my god, all cops are racist, every one of them are, like, terrible people, but obviously, but, like, that's not the case. It's just, that's how the media spreads it, because that's what the media does. um that's, and, that's why it's disappointing, to kind of, hear
Yeah.
about.
And like not all cop is a bad person, but being a cop in America is fueling systemic racism and could lead to police brutality, which is racist, you know?
Yeah, like, you've never, like, again, as I said before, you've never gone on Twitter and being like, and you see police beat up, like, so and so year old white man in on highway. Like, it's not, you never see that. It's always, you know police obviously there's a lot of things going on, especially like, around George Floyd. People say, oh, he was, committing a crime anyway, but, it doesn't give anyone the right to put a knee on someone's neck when they are repeatedly saying that they cannot breathe and you were just not doing anything.
Instead of like
That's still murder.
instead of locking them up, sending them to the
You
in the
know,
cop car, without any harm being done. Not that like I'm saying George Floyd deserved to be arrested simply just because what he counterfeit like what $5 bill or something.
yeah, like
Not
if he probably didn't even know too. That's the thing. You don't
yeah.
like you don't know. Like if it's money you picked up off the street, you don't know if it's fake or real. That's the thing. And obviously, but it's obviously the fact that you can repeatedly hear George Floyd in like that video, excuse me, that went around on the internet of him repeatedly saying I can't breathe while Derek Chauvin, or however you say that fucker's name, had a knee on his neck, and for like 6 or 9 minutes, and it's like obviously like and the other cops are not doing anything, and that's how you know that they're like it's that entire thing frustrated me, and I was so disappointed in the cops, and even the mayor, I believe, of that city, or the governor, basically said something. He wants that they put out an arrest warrant for the guy that is responsible for the murder of George Floyd. Obviously, again, we send our condolences. He could have been like forging a check at a grocery store, and still he would still be seen as a victim. Like the fact that again, this like obviously police brutality is still like a thing, and that's really upsetting, and I hope that this changes obviously very soon.
Before we move on to the next track,
Mm-hmm.
let's just make it very clear that the Cake and Flakes podcast, where we support Black Lives Matter,
Yeah.
we don't support All Lives Matter or
Yes.
Blue Lives Matter. Fuck those.
And please do not send any mean messages to my mom. I'm telling you, like she's not she's not racist, she's not with All Lives Matter and against Black Lives Matter. Like obviously she was as mad as at the George Floyd situation that I was. Like I can assure you that she's she's a nice person. She if it, like me and Gran here wouldn't have hung out in real life if she was with like he would not have been able to come over to my house in real life if she was a racist, obviously.
Yeah.
And I'm glad she's not, because I wouldn't be able to live with that. But I guess let's just move on to the next track. This is getting really depressing. It's getting like.
It's gonna do that to you, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, next track.
All right.
Let's sweet in the mood a bit. Aha.
Yeah. Let's sweeten the mood a bit. So this was like another
right.
2-part track. He did this on Igor with Gan, and I forget what the second part was.
Gone, thank you.
Gan, thank you. Yes. So
and speaking of Igor,
yeah,
that's kind of the vibe I got throughout this song. It felt like a very Igor song to me.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
he was rapping, of course, but like he was singing most of Sweet and most of I Thought You Wanted to Dance as well. Like
it reminded me a lot of Boy Is a Gun.
Singing, less rapping. What?
He kind of talks about his obsession with I guess sweets, and he talked about this in Boy Is a Gun. He said, "Boy, you're sweet as sugar, diabetic to the first degree." Yeah. So and then he did it in See You Again in Flower Boy. So obviously this isn't the first time he's kind of
sugar, honey, iced tea, Bumblebee on the scene.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember.
Yep. So obviously again I also did get a very Igor vibe from this, and that kind of made me happy, because I'm like this kind of sounds like the the Igor I heard. Like this is like like what I heard in 2019. So
What did you think? Do you like remember how it went? Like, what did you think of it? The
um,
first part, I mean.
I kind of I heard about I heard about like I listened to the song. I was really happy that it it definitely sounded like a love song. Obviously, it had that vibe to it, and especially in the lyrics. So I really like that. What else? He talks about he says you know it, he makes a reference to the outro of Sir Baudelaire where DJ Drama declares this shit is for the Sunseekers. Obviously, if you don't know what a Sunseeker is, it's like a British yacht or something. I don't know. And
Like
he
more
says,
more luxury stuff, tying into the whole like Tyler being a very successful luxurious person. Yeah.
yeah, I guess now we move on to I thought you
No, I
wanted to
still, I still, I
dance.
still there's a little bit more things to say.
Okay, sorry.
Can I be honest? Can I be honest? The sweet slash I thought you wanted to dance is probably my favorite song on the album. I'm being completely honest.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was my favorite song overall.
Okay.
I uh specifically, well, specifically I thought you wanted to dance, and I'll talk about that later. But on Sweet, I noticed the singing on it. It's probably the best singing I've heard Tyler done like ever, because he doesn't have to use like the sort of pitch shifted like kind of auto-tuney thing that he did on Igor. He's like
Yeah.
genuinely singing,
Yeah, like
and
him is like this is his actual, like voice, like it's
it's
not.
yeah, it was his, and not to imply that like um not to imply that it was worse because he had the auto-tune thing. Like, I like auto-tune, to be honest.
Yeah, like
I
autotune
think it
is.
gets a bad rep.
Yeah,
I,
like
I like
autotune's
auto-tune.
cool. Like I really like I'm like I like autotune. It obviously makes songs like a lot better, obviously. But one of the things that I like, one of the first songs that I actually can like know didn't have any autotune was "Wake Me Up" by Avicii. That was the guy's actual voice, and he performed live at Avicii's like tribute concert, and there was no autotune. It was like listening to the actual song, and
Hmm.
that's what really. And and it's kind of annoying that this guy isn't like worldwide known. That because he can sing amazing without autotune, and it's crazy. And obviously so can Tyler. Um,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, going back to Sweet, like the singing for most of that portion is probably like the best singing I've ever heard Tyler done, being completely honest, because it sounds so genuine. It like he even though he has like this ridiculously deep voice, he does a good job at like hitting these notes. Uh, I thought it was really great, and even had like a little cool kind of duet with I forget, let me see their name. Their name is Brent Fayaz. I hope I pronounced that right. They had like a little bit of a duet going on that I thought was cool.
yeah. And
And then the next part, I thought you wanted to dance.
oh yeah, that one was one of the lyrics that definitely caught my attention was um one of the lyrics was "You got me out here smoking joints." This, he has stated in the past that he's smoked weed and he didn't really enjoy it. He reinforces this, in with a line from Corso, "Cookie crumbs and the rolls, never no weed crumbs." And basically, it says despite having a clearly unpleasant experience, he's willing to smoke for this girl, such as on Wilshire, where he reflects on where they went on when they went outside for them doobies. Obviously, the indica strain of marijuana is used to treat anxiety. Um, you know, I, I don't plan on smoking weed. I probably never will. But it said that this girl may have
It's
had.
weed. It's legal now, right?
I don't know actually. It might be, and
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it's fully legal. Like both. medicinally and recreationally.
Oh, really?
Like California.
Oh,
I could be wrong, but
you know,
I'm pretty sure it's like fully legal now,
yeah. So,
which is interesting, I guess.
yeah.
Why?
Obviously, I can understand the use for it, medicinally. Obviously, if it's used to, like for pain and stuff, I can understand, you know, and, it's that actually brings up. I'm not gonna tell the story, but I just thought of a funny, because I don't know, it was just a funny personal story that I just thought of. But it says that this girl may have had Tyler so nervous that he was willing to try marijuana again, if it means it will ease his nerves around her. So obviously, this, he's willing to do it if it means, so,
Yeah.
that really caught my eye as well. And what
What and the song in general? What did you feel about it, or do you remember it? Should I like
I
help you remember what it sounded like?
yeah, can you help me remember what it sounded like?
Yeah, it was probably my favorite part of the suite. I thought I wanted to dance
Mm-hmm.
uh I think it was like my favorite section because um it had like a sort of like a reggae kind of instrumental going on, which is like the first time I've ever heard him do this, by the way. It's like when I first heard that, I was like, whoa, what is he doing right now? Like I've never heard him do something like that before. But it turned out really good. It kind of continued the same like love song kind of vibe, but it was more like melancholic kind of breakup-y kind of. The chorus, it went a little bit like so what makes you think
Yeah, yeah, no,
no,
I
not
remember it.
enough? Like it was like that. You remember now?
Yeah.
It, it was a really really good part of the song. I really liked the chorus on that specifically. That's
Yeah.
the part I remember most.
Yeah, so I guess, do you want to move on to the next song, or do you still have?
And just one more thing about the song.
All right.
Um, it's like 9 minutes long, pretty much.
Yeah.
And throughout the 9 minutes, I was not bored at all, which was when like anytime an artist does that, it was like thank you for making a song that's like almost 10 minutes long and finding the way to make it interesting from front to back.
Yeah, yeah, like obviously I'm gonna re-listen to, all of these songs again.
Yeah, of course you should. It's a
Because
good album.
yeah, obviously because I listened to this at 12 a.m., so I was probably like also kind of tired.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I remember that we didn't listen to it at the same time, but I listened to it at 12 a.m. as well.
yeah, I
Um,
listened to,
my
like the
first
first
listen.
five tracks, and then, obviously then I went to sleep, and then I woke up the next morning and I, listened to the rest of the
I
album.
listened to the whole thing, but I'm gonna be honest. When it was like nearing the end, I was kind of like zoning out.
Yeah,
But I was able to listen to it in full later on though, which is
yeah,
good. You have to listen to it more than once.
yeah. So again, you know, uh,
That's pretty much it. That's basically what I have to say about the song.
yep. So I guess next one, well, since we already covered Mama Talk, we'll cover Rise. Now, when I heard this, I immediately thought of Igor because the
Really?
because of the fact that when I heard obviously there's like an alternate intro to Igor's theme up on YouTube. I don't know if it's still up, but it basically, obviously this wasn't released by Tyler, so obviously it might be unofficial, but it sounds very fitting to, you hear the line from Frankenstein. He goes, "Rise, rise," like, and
Yeah.
so, it's alive. So I heard that, and I immediately was like, "Oh my God, are we gonna hear Igor again or something?" And so, obviously, I don't think that was the case. But
It was still a good song though.
yeah, it was still a good song. Again, we hear Tyler's mom at the beginning of this. Um,
Hmm.
and also this was heard when you called the promotional phone number for "Call Me If You Get Lost" on June 21st, 2021. It was the fifth track to be teased on the phone line, following "Mama Talk," "Passport," number in Sur Baudelaire. And it was also previewed again on Tyler's Instagram story. I believe they make a reference to a Kanye West and a Kanye West song that I cannot say the title of.
Me neither. Yeah.
Yeah, you can say it for me.
No, I don't think. I don't think. I don't think I should.
Well, you know that lyric definitely caught my attention. You ain't the only N word in you ain't the only N word that be in Paris. So obviously, when I heard that, I was like, all right.
Nice callback.
It's also might be a reference to potato salad, which was a, you know, which is a it might be a reference to the music video of Potato Salad, which was shot in Paris.
With A$AP Rocky.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, and then you hear, so I know I'm the guy that took a chance like Chicago. So obviously, I'm talking about Chance the Rapper. You know, so, and it's funny because in an interview, Chance, Chance mentioned that he was a fan of Tyler, so that's interesting to hear that. Also, we get a feature from Daisy World, on this, who I'm not gonna lie, never heard of before this.
Me neither. There's a lot of features I never heard of before this.
Yeah, and I didn't even know the person who was who did some of the vocals on I Think. I'm not gonna lie. This is gonna sound ridiculous, but at first I literally thought it was a sample. But then I listened to it, I'm like, wait, no, that's not a sample. That's someone's actual voice. But obviously, it didn't say it. It didn't say it on, it didn't say I Think featuring, so and so. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you made a good point. Of where the features on this album compared to Igor, they're like they're a lot more present. They're not in like the background or anything or they have like a bigger role on this album,
Yeah.
Which is something that's very interesting,
Yeah, like for example, you repeatedly said to me, like either A Boy Is a Gun or New Magic Wand was like your favorite Igor track, like for a long time, and obviously, he would go on to perform New Magic Wand at the Grammys.
Yeah, boy.
And obviously, seeing Tyler's mom, that obviously, he's like, "This is my mom." He's like, "Mom, I gotta do my speech. Like, let me do my thing." Like that was really funny, but also, she was so happy for him, and I honestly, I really like that. I really like the fact that I definitely like the fact that, again, as you said, the features mean like a lot more, than they did on Igor.
Mm-hmm.
So, anything else you want to say about
Rise?
About Rise?
Not really. I thought the chorus was cool.
Yeah.
I can say it right now. It was like, when I rise to the top, telling you right now, I'm telling you right now, I'll show you something. It was like that, pretty much.
Well, are we gonna get a Gran Flakes cover of Rise by? Is that gonna happen at 1,000 subs?
Nah.
You should cover a song for 1,000 subs. I will cover Guillotine, doing
I
an
will
MC
cover
Wright
something at
impression.
like 400.
I will do an MC Wright impression that Gran has heard. That Gran has heard that every day. He has heard me do an MC Wright impression. It's not good, but you know what? I try. But I told him I would. I actually never told him this, but I'm planning that at 100 subs, I will do a full Guillotine cover doing that voice.
Really?
I will do it. I will do it, and it's gonna suck, but I'm gonna do it.
Alright.
So.
Want to talk about the next song?
Yep. So the next song is Blessed.
I I don't have that much to say about it again.
Yeah, again, it's
It's just a really, just a nice little interlude like Mama Talk.
yeah, it talks about it says the second interlude on Tyler's seventh studio album, Call Me If You Get Lost. This spoken and verse track sees Tyler being grateful for his success and blessedness, all his businesses and Camp Flognaw doing amazing, his collaborations with companies, his skincare being really fucking good, and just about every other way he's blessed in life.
Good
So
job, Tyler.
yeah,
Good on you.
good on you. Obviously, it says
It
he
says a
says
lot
he says
that
Golf
you.
Wang's doing amazing, might open up another store. Obviously, this is
It's really, I'm really happy to see how much like success he's gotten like the mainstream as well. Like, because before when he was releasing music, like people weren't taking him that seriously. But it's nice to see that, he's doing so much in the fashion industry and music.
yeah,
He's getting like the opportunities to make like music for like commercials and movies and stuff. Like it's cool. Good
yeah,
job, Tyler.
yeah. So obviously he as we mentioned earlier, he because he obviously says I'm out here scoring commercials, movies soon. Obviously he did the track Tell Me How for a Coca-Cola commercial, which aired like a few months before Call Me If You Get Lost released. He scored he worked on the soundtrack for The Grinch. Obviously, you can buy that album, I guess. And in 2013, he teased a movie that never saw a full release while promoting his sophomore album, Wolf. So I guess you want to move on to Juggernaut?
Yeah, sure. Oh my God, Juggernaut. That is a banger.
Oh
That
my
song is
god.
really
I saw the name and
good.
and immediately everything came out. Like everything came back. Obviously, he says riding in double R, Rolls Royce, in case, So he himself owns a he said that's that Cullinan, I don't know how to say it, but he actually rapped about it in Group B on the December 2019 single Group B. And it's funny if you actually watch the music video for Juggernaut. You could see Tyler pulling a Cullinan that was modified into a monster truck.
Yeah,
So that was
that was
kind of
one of
funny.
the videos to get a music video.
Yeah.
The,
So
the many songs to get a music video. Sorry.
yeah, it's okay. So um, you know, obviously this is the one with Lil Uzi Vert.
Intro.
Yep. Oh yeah, Enfro, right? Sorry, forgot who that guy was. Uh, again, I'm not gonna lie. It's not that I don't like Pharrell Williams. It's just that he's made two songs that I don't really like. And I know this is gonna be an unpopular opinion. I hate Get Lucky. I know that is it's just I've heard it way too much.
Is it mostly like it's
Like,
overplayed for
yeah,
you?
overplayed way too much.
Yeah.
Happy way too much.
I can get that. I can get that kind of.
Yeah,
I can get understand.
Let It
I
Go.
like Good Lucky, but I can understand that.
Let It Go. I don't like it because it sucks. It's so bad.
It's just anything that's overplayed for you
It's
is like
overplayed, and I swear to God, if Frozen 3, I hope that never happens, because if it does, then I'm gonna go on a rant on Twitter again, and it's gonna be crazy. But again,
let's go back to the song before you go on another rant.
Yep. Okay. Yep. Sorry. So.
No, it's fine.
Yeah. It's okay. Obviously, the bass heavy production in the song, reminds me of Akra, I guess you could say.
Oh yeah. I
And
didn't even pick.
and
That's a good comparison.
yeah. So, and Cherry Bomb.
I
See, I've been
personally-
listening to my Tyler. I've been listening to Tyler. So yeah, but yeah, it definitely reminded me of those tracks. And
Personally, like it reminded me of like it sounded it was like a very over the top kind of energy to it. It reminded me a lot of um his early Odd Future days. Um, just another reminder. You can check that out if you want because he's done a lot of good stuff for Odd Future. But it reminded me of that early Odd Future days and like just the way, like it was very over the top, very bass heavy,
mhm.
very much like a banger.
Yeah. So, obviously, there was actually a rumor on Twitter that this song was originally for a scrapped album that Pharrell Williams and Lil Uzi Vert were gonna release like 4 years prior, but obviously Tyler diffused these. Obviously.
What'd you think about the star-studded cast of this song?
Oh well,
The
obviously,
features
yeah,
Uzi and Pharrell. What do you think about
yeah,
them?
yeah. Those obviously seeing Pharrell Williams' name, obviously, not really excited to see his name. It's like,
You only know him for those two songs,
well,
or do you know him
actually,
for like?
actually, I did see him on The Voice. He was a judge or coach or whatever on there.
Yeah,
Um,
personally, when I see Pharrell Williams, I associate him with like, because like I don't know if you knew this, but before like
the Rump
Get Lucky,
Shaker,
before Happy and all that, he was like a producer for
the Rump
he was a
Shaker.
producer for like a duo called the Neptunes, and they produced like a lot of really good like songs over the years. Like I could send you just a list of them later on, but
Yeah, sure.
that's what I think of when I see Pharrell Williams. I think of him as like a really good producer and rapper, other than the Get Lucky stuff.
Hmm.
Not, that I kind of just want to forget, you know.
Yeah, so I think in this song, well, obviously, I think in this song he's flexing what he has. You know, he's flexing his wealth. He's flexing his clothes. All the stuff that he has. He's flexing the cars. Obviously that was, I believe, like the theme here. What do you think?
Yeah, pretty much. Just a lot of lot of flexing, a lot of, but like it's not a bad flexing, like because he deserves the fame, the wealth,
Yeah, he
you know.
definitely deserves that. Like,
Yeah,
there are people
I
who
think
deserve fame and people who don't deserve fame. He's one of the people that definitely does deserve it.
Tyler definitely. Same thing with Uzi Vert and Pharrell. They
Yep.
deserve it as well.
Yep. So,
That's pretty much it.
yep. So,
Oh, you know what? You know what? Something else actually.
what?
I wrote this down earlier.
What'd you write down?
The beat. I don't like. Okay, I don't know how much this comparison makes sense in my head, but I was talking about earlier that Pharrell was part of was like a producer
Yeah,
back
yeah.
then for a group called the Neptunes. He was also part of a band called NERD, and
I
I
feel
heard
like
one of
I've
their
heard that
albums
before.
before. Hmm?
I feel like I've heard NERD before.
Have you? Yeah,
It's might
they
be somewhere. I can't remember when, but I know I've definitely heard that before.
yeah, he it's like a group that he was a part of before he got like popular off of Get Lucky and stuff. And they have like an album that was released actually really recently. That's how I know about them because of this album. It was released in 2017. It's called No One Ever Really Dies. And a lot of the songs on that reminds me of Juggernaut, so that's what I wanted to say. So
Hmm.
like if you should check that out if like you really like Juggernaut and if
Yeah.
you really like to hear Pharrell rapping, you know.
Hmm. So, I guess we'll move on to Wilshire.
Oh boy, Wilshire, another 8 minute long track.
Yeah, this
Go.
one I definitely actually relate to. This one is about a failed relationship. From the point of him and whoever he's talking about, you know, laying eyes upon each other and to their eventual breakup, and he also goes into like you know the inevitable depressing aftermath, which I felt myself.
Mhm.
And it definitely, obviously, it sucks because you feel like like what did I do wrong? What did I, like did I mess up? Is it my fault? Like does anyone care about me? Kind of, thoughts. So obviously,
Would you call it a personal favorite?
yeah, definitely personal favorite.
I
He,
I liked it. I liked it too. Yeah.
yeah, and he explains through his, how do you say it, his lyricism, I don't know,
Yeah.
that his willingness and urge to like continue the relationship, but he agrees to break up for the sake of him and his partner's mental health, which, like, this one really hit hard. This one was like I won't say I felt all of that, but I've definitely felt most of it, and it I can understand the mental health part. I can definitely, you know the depressing aftermath. I can definitely relate to that. You know
Mm.
like and so this was definitely another personal favorite. And on Igor, I didn't really hear a lot of you know there wasn't really a lot of, like, there were a lot of favorites, but not like songs that like hit, like like that related to me.
And like a depressing kind of way, you mean?
Yeah, like obviously,
Yeah, well, I
listening
think of
to,
Flower Boy when I think of songs that are like relatable in that kind of way.
yeah, like like listening to, because obviously the first, like, Tyler songs that I listened to were the ones on Igor. You were like, you really should listen to this guy. I think you'd really like him. And I was like, 'cause you're like, oh, did you hear this guy named Tyler the Creator? I don't know if you know him. He's gonna release this new album called Igor. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll give it a listen. And I listened to it, and obviously, it was like, like obviously, rapping, not as much, but like it was definitely like, obviously good songs on there. Um, and but obviously there wasn't anything I could really relate to. But compared obviously to Igor, Call Me If You Get Lost definitely has like a lot of songs to you can relate to. So
Awesome.
yeah,
Yeah, I liked the song a lot too.
yeah,
Good job.
yeah. So obviously,
Pretty
he
much it, I have to
says,
say.
yeah, he says, like, oh God, I love that girl. I'm a bad person. Like, I'm in the wrong. I had no intentions, though. Shit, everybody got hurt. I got hurt, bro. It's a shit situation. You know, that those lyrics definitely, were like, you know,
They
and
hit,
and it
man.
says that Tyler the Creator recounts a failed romance with his friend's girlfriend on Wilshire. So, this is like related on like a true story. So, you know,
Yeah,
so
very interesting story too.
and now we are up to the last
Final
track,
track.
Safari.
Sorry. I like this song too.
Yeah,
You're gonna. I've said that for like pretty much almost every song, but I like it. It's just a good album, man. I thought it was a really good way that they ended it. With,
yeah. He mentions Ludacris, and Runaway Love, which was one of Ludacris's singles. When I heard Ludacris, I immediately thought, him and Justin Bieber, Baby, I so, it's, that, then, this one, he says, I don't know if this is a COVID, thing, but he says, staying at home, I hate, that was another thing he
yeah,
said. So, I kind of, again, I don't know, but, he mentions, the he mentions Tracy Ellis Ross, who appeared in the Earthquake music video. Um,
yeah.
yep, and that was really interesting. He talks about when he won the Grammy for after he was nominated in 2017. but he finally took one home for Igor. Um, and
Awesome.
he mentions a thing that he said was in an interview held shortly after the ceremony. Tyler mentioned how black artists were put in rap and urban categories, whether or not they should be, and how the term urban felt like a politically correct way to say the N-word. And the Recording Academy has since removed the category, but again, it really, this was he mentioned, in the outro he mentions Wolf Haley, the evil alter ego of Tyler, and obviously Wolf. So obviously a lot of, and again, as I said before, he
It's a good song.
he mentions how it's like an evil alter ego, and even in Yonkers he talks about how he it was like a mental battle between Tyler and his evil alter ego. And that that was interesting, and and then the song was over, and I was like, wow. Call me if you get lost. And so I was like, wow, it's over. I never thought it not that I wanted it to end, but obviously, it's sad that it's over. So but
Sad world.
so and I get
I still got a few things to say
sorry
about Sorry. I liked the instrumental. I remember that the most, to be honest. It had like a horn. It had like horns again, like on the intro, which I thought was a cool way to wrap everything up. Flutes as well. But honestly, it felt like kind of like a cliffhanger. Did you get that kind of vibe? Did you feel like it ended suddenly?
yeah
When it ended, I was like, oh, well, I guess the album's over now.
yeah, like for example, like Igor kind of had like like the ending, it wasn't really a cliffhanger, right? Like it was
The ending for Igor was like very
obvious.
what's the right word? It was like very
you knew when it was gonna happen.
it felt like very much like
when it ended,
ending.
you can understand why it ended there.
It was very much like a like, oh man, I'm forgetting the word. Whatever. I'm forgetting the word, but whatever.
But I understand what you're saying.
Cinematic. It was very like cinematic.
Yeah.
It felt like a very proper cinematic ending.
Mm-hmm.
For here, it was kind of like a cliffhanger, which I don't really mind, but I was kind of disappointed in.
I mean, hey, you never know. Maybe he says that would be doing stuff with movies. So hey, you never know. I mean, obviously, I doubt that's gonna be part 2 to this, if there is a part 2.
What do you feel? What do you think? Do you have a score or not yet?
I'd say somewhere from a 4 to a 5. I'm not gonna lie. Like not out of 10. Like I'm saying out of 5. Out of 5. It was mostly because of like the personal, like the personal favorites in this, because there are a lot of things I could relate to. That he rapped about, and like that kind of, I was really impressed, and I liked it, and I you know what, I'm gonna give it a 5 for sure. 5 out of 5.
Really?
Like that was like Igor. I didn't even score that 5 out of 5, but you know what? I'm giving this 5 out of 5.
You'd think this is like better than Igor?
Like obviously Igor was good, but you know what? I'd say.
Oh no, I know. I'm not saying it like it's a bad thing. I'm just saying.
Yeah, like obviously
because Igor's good.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
Personally, this is definitely in like my top 3 Tyler albums. Mostly because I really like the direction he went. I liked that he went back to rapping for most of the album compared to Igor. I'm glad he didn't, like, for me personally, I don't think this is better than Igor, but this is still really good. And I think it's good that he didn't try to like make another mostly like singing album, uh,
You know what I
and try
just
to
realized?
top it that way.
You know what I just
What?
realized?
What?
The instrumental on Safari reminds me of Smuckers.
Yeah,
Does
I can
it?
kind of see that.
I think it does.
I need to listen to that to see. I didn't make that connection yet.
Yeah,
But
but
yeah,
I guess we'll go over E3 quickly.
wait, wait, wait,
All
wait.
right, sorry.
Um, I was saying this is like my top three. Um, this I think personally, mostly because I've listened to Igor and Flower Boy way longer than I had this new album, but I like those two more than this album. But I still like this album a lot. Good job, Tyler. Another W, three W's in a row. Please don't you please don't miss. He does not miss. I think I'm feeling like I rate things out of 10. I'm feeling like either an 8 or a 9,
Hmm.
honestly. Yeah. Really good.
Jenny
Really,
Depp
really
10.
good.
But
All right.
so we'll go. They but all the stuff leading up to the album I really liked. The fact that he did like that whole like phone number thing. Um,
Yeah.
like that was cool. Um, the
Talking about like just the album in general again.
yeah. You know, he, like for example, after Igor came out, he'd post pictures on Twitter. Him in like the outfit, with the wig, and he would, and obviously he. One of the things that I'm not gonna lie, the thing that shocked me was that he would actually. I was expecting, like when he did the Igor tour, I expected him to only perform the Igor songs, but he actually did like other songs, like he did Who Dat Boy, and like I'd go on YouTube and watch like like the live, him doing Who Dat Boy, like live, and you'd see like the background video that would be there, and that was really cool,
Mhm.
and again, I really like this album. I'm really excited for.
Tyler,
Yep,
what's up?
yeah, thumbs up. I'm really excited for what else he's gonna do. I'm planning on watching.
He's very much on a winning streak.
Yeah,
He's
for sure.
like
If this
last
doesn't win a Grammy, I'm gonna be upset.
Mhm.
This should win a Grammy. I'm not even kidding.
Honestly, like I can kind of see it happening
Yeah,
because like he's now that he won a Grammy for Igor, it's like anything's possible.
like
Like
Igor, there
who knows
wasn't
what
like
else is going on.
competition really. Like no offense
Mhm.
to like when he was going up against like for Igor, like he was like the only like rap album that really like had that was like known like listened to and talked about like at all that year. Like no offense to the other people that were nominated, but you know like it was like even you said you like no it's no like Igor's gonna win, like there's no like no
Yeah, that's
doubt, like
true. I remember the competition for best rap album that year. It felt very one-sided. Like you can tell that it was gonna beat Igor.
mhm
Like yeah, and not to discredit like 21 Savage or
yeah
YBN Cordae or whatever, because I think those guys are pretty good.
yeah
But like it felt like yeah, they're just gonna give it they're just gonna give it to Igor.
yeah
Why not?
so but like who knows what's gonna happen
What
this year. Obviously it's still the middle of the year.
probably gonna give him a nomination. Well, not this year, probably next year, because they already did the Grammys this year, I think.
Yeah,
But
so
I think they're gonna give him a nomination. I think. I don't know if he's gonna. I hope he wins again, but I'm really not sure
I think
because
the Grammys, I believe, were the same, like the 2020 Grammys were the same, was the same night that, Kobe died, which, was kind of,
oh yeah,
yeah, obviously, that, obviously, we talked about, I believe we talked about, his death on the podcast, and,
Yep.
like, there's no doubt, like, Kobe was known, like, like, throughout the world, and, obviously what happened was terrible, and, like, and it's crazy how terrible 2020 was. 2021 is bad as well, but,
Yeah.
not as bad as 2020. 2020 was terrible. That was when, COVID started. We had to wear masks now. My anxiety was, like, at its worst. Like, it was, like, terrible. Like, it
Mhm.
started off terrible, and you know what? I believe it ended terrible. And, there were a lot of
Yeah.
speculations, like, oh, like, 2021 is going to be just as, it's going to be a lot better. And then, it started off crap for me because I got COVID. So, the,
A lot of people,
yep.
especially if you're American.
Yeah, and but thankfully, I'm vaccinated, and because of that, actually, I was able to. There was one reason why I agreed to get the COVID vaccine, and it was because I wanted to see my grandfather, who actually has, like, a lung problem, and obviously I didn't want to risk giving it to him. So Oh, by the way, a little piece of advice: if you ever go to North Carolina, and you live in, like, I don't know, like, New York, New Jersey, take a plane. Don't take a car. Car ride is 12 hours, and I had to go through that
Yeah.
twice, and it
Yeah.
sucked. It was so uncomfortable, and it was, like, the most boring drive I've ever been on in my life. Like, it was so bad. But, man, so we'll talk about, E3 quickly. I
Yeah. How long
guess
have this been going on, by the way?
this has been going on for almost 2 hours, but it's okay. It'll be cut
Yeah.
down. Um,
Yeah. So let's try to make not let's try not to make it too long then, the
yeah,
E3
yeah.
discussion.
So, obviously they talked about, well, one of the things that I was kind of anticipating, and Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild 2. That I've been waiting for that since, like, 2000, like, 18. Like, I've been waiting for that for that long. And
Yeah.
obviously they said, by all the games that were impacted by COVID-19, this game was impacted the most. It was made because they ran out of they had too many DLC ideas, so they kind of just wanted to put it in a game. So, the one thing, obviously, that caught my attention was the fact that you can go into the sky. That caught my attention. So, again, I'm really excited. It says it's going to come out in, like, 2022, which, obviously I'm not surprised. Am I
Yeah.
annoyed? Yes, but you know what? It's most likely going to be worth the wait. Then they talked about, there was the first trailer for the Guardians of the Galaxy game, which is made by the same people who made the Avengers game, which was cool. Um, then they mentioned the Dragon Ball game. The Dragon Ball Z Kakarot game will land on Switch on September 24th. Well, I already played all of that on PlayStation 4, so I don't need to care about that. They revealed the new Super Smash Bros. Ultimate character, which was Kazuya from Tekken, which,
Yeah.
that was cool. You probably didn't even watch it.
The Nintendo one, right?
Yeah, that's the.
I watched like
I watched him drop
I
Kirby off a
watched
cliff.
streamers that I like watch part of it. I didn't see the full thing.
Yeah,
Um,
I
I feel like I've played Tekken before.
yeah,
It's a fighting, right?
yeah,
Kind of like, yeah, I feel like I've played one of them before. It was like I'm gonna look it up right now, but you can keep talking.
yeah. So, obviously they, one of the games that is not listed on the website I'm looking at, but there's a game series that has apparently been going on for a while. Shin Megami Tensei. I saw the fifth. They revealed the fifth game, and I love it. I don't know if I have to play 1 through 4, but if I have to for story purposes, I will. Um, But you know, the I'm really excited about Shin Megami Tensei 5. The fact that you can literally recruit demons and then fuse them together to be like an ally is freaking awesome. I love the way that the character looks. You know, I love all that, and you know, I'm really excited. Um,
I just did the I just did some research.
okay,
It
which
turns
one?
out I didn't play a Tekken game.
Oh,
It was just a regular old Street Fighter game. It was
a regular old Street Fighter game.
yeah, it was Street Fighter 4.
Oh my
I
god, you just brought back so many memories. Oh my
Yeah, I
god.
played it on like my cousin's PlayStation 3 like way back when.
Oh my god.
It was pretty good.
I played Street Fighter when it was on mobile.
Damn.
That's like they had like the mobile Street Fighter game, Street Fighter 4, I assume, you know. But you know, a lot of I wasn't, you know, obviously the only like E3 presentation I really watched was the Nintendo one.
Yeah.
You know, I actually didn't realize at the time that that was like the last one, or like third to last one, I don't know.
The last one out of like the big three.
Yeah, you know, not a lot of big reveals from Xbox, or, you know,
Yeah.
PS4, I don't know, you know, again, I didn't
Just
really,
five, you mean?
yeah, PS5, right, the console that I have yet to get,
I
you
think
know,
many people have yet to get it, but yeah.
I actually kind of want it, because, you know, the graphics on all the games that are for, you know, they look really cool, but,
Well,
you know,
I don't know if I might get it yet, but it's cool.
one of
I'm
the
not much of
games
a
that
gamer.
I feel like you'd actually like is the Yakuza series. You would probably like that.
Yakuza, what is that? Let me look it up.
So the Yakuza is like the Japanese mafia. The Yakuza series, it's you know, it's, you know, where the Baka Mitai meme kind of comes from. You know, the Dame
Mm,
Dane Dame Yo
I've
Dame.
I've seen I think I've seen
It's
gameplay of this before.
it's the deep fake like meme.
I know the meme you're talking about as well. I've
Yeah.
yeah.
So, you know, I actually really think you'd like that. You know, it's really really cool. You know, I actually got like the remastered collection while I was on vacation because I brought my PlayStation with me so I wouldn't like bore to death. You know, I'm like I have to have a console with me, so I played it on like like a TV as big as like a like I don't know how to I don't know what to compare it to. Like I'd say it's like as big as like a picture frame basically. You know, like that's how big it was. Um it's like it was like a computer monitor. It was like a old Sony TV that, you know, hasn't been turned off in like 7 years. But you know, it was you know, I'm still happy that I at least got to play on it. So that was cool. You know,
Oh, yeah.
I guess.
What do you so like you're the gamer of the Cake and Flakes podcast. What would you would you say the Nintendo Direct was like overall good, overall bad? What would you say?
Well, if they didn't reveal anything about the Legend of Zelda game, I probably would have given it like a 1. But you know, but I was still happy that there were also like other games that I saw. You know, like for example, I talked about, you know, like that Shin Megami Tensei game that I saw. I talked about, you know, I'm I'm really excited to see that the because it's not just like the ground of Hyrule, like not like, you know, like you go, it's like expanded now into the skies, which is awesome. You know, I'm excited to see, you know, like what else you know, is gonna, you know, kind of happen. You know, especially
Yeah.
concerning Legend of Zelda. You know, and you know, I'm really excited, and you know, I don't know, like, you know, obviously, you know, Nintendo, you know, with a lot of controversies that have been going on, you know, and especially, you know, involving or, you know, going around the Edicons, and, you know, like, you know, they've gotten some hate, you know, for like the past year or something like
You
that.
can't deny that their games are pretty.
Yeah,
Anytime they make a game, it's like, well, stop the presses, you know.
yeah, like, you know, like,
Even if the company is like kind of shit.
yeah, like, obviously, you know, like, Nintendo does things that you can understand why they did it, but, like, obviously they should have expected, like, you know, like the public, you know, to not be happy with it.
Yeah,
You
they
know,
go out of their way, it seems, to make their fans upset. It's
yeah.
like it really does seem that way.
Mhm.
Even if
Yeah, and
like no matter what kind
someone
of
who I
excuse
won't
they have
mention,
for
you
it.
know, kind of talked about a Nintendo game. You probably remember this drama, don't you?
Yeah, I think we mentioned like part of this
No, but
before.
you know who I'm talking about, though, right?
Yeah.
It begins with an S.
Yeah.
You don't want to talk about it, do you?
Nah, that's fine.
Okay,
Uh,
well,
is that all you have to say about Direct, and
uh,
E3?
you know, E3, I guess, you know, it was E3. It was E3, you know, it's,
Yeah.
you know, you know, oh yeah, one more thing. Kim and Kanye divorce, not surprised it happened. You know, just wanted to say
Let's
that.
get that out of the way.
Yep. Alright, so I guess we'll end it here.
What'd you say?
I guess we'll end it here, the podcast.
I guess so. We've talked about well, we've talked a long time about not that many
Yeah,
things,
not
but
that many
honestly, this
things,
is like
but
every podcast.
yeah. So we talked
We've
about
talked about
E3,
Tumblr,
we talked
E3,
about
DMX.
Tyler, Tyler the Creator's new album. Call Me If You Get
Yeah,
Lost. You can get it on iTunes. We're not sponsored, by the way. We're just telling you to get it.
I didn't download it. I listened on Spotify, but you
How
can.
dare you? I
Hey,
paid
streaming gives them money too.
I paid $12 of my own money to buy his whole album at 12 a.m.
Hey, hey, I listened through the ads. You know, they got money. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Yeah, well,
I don't
whatever.
have them.
Yeah, you know,
So
but
they,
you know the oh wait, what were you saying?
no, I'm ready. I was finished.
All right, well, I guess we'll end it here. This has been the third episode of Cake and Flakes podcast.
Only the third, really?
Yep, we did episode
Like wait,
0, episode 1, and episode 2.
Damn. And
Episode
we've been
0,
doing this what for like 2 years?
and we've only done 3 episodes.
Man, podcasting is hard.
Yeah, it's hard. But I
It's been
don't know when
fun.
this is gonna go up. I don't know if it's gonna be like, middle of July, end of July. We don't know, when. But
Mhm.
maybe some of these things will, not be as relevant. But you know what? Whatever. We try our best. All right. We try our
Yeah.
hardest.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All
Thanks for
right.
listening.
Thank you.
This has been
Cake and Flakes podcast.
Gran, John, whatever you want to call me, and
Wow, that's a first.
yeah, it's been me, and right next to me is that's you. Say your
Yep.
name.
Oh, yep. Jake's Cakes.
Yeah.
You could just call me Jake.
So long, everyone. Have a
So
good
long.
one.
Bye.